Welcome to this day for this Thursday, September 3rd. I'm Paul Ortiz, and thanks for joining us for the next half hour. Well, we have a great show for you today. We're going to have a chance to talk to Judith Troutman. She is the Golden Rain Foundation Secretary, but a lot of our discussion today is going to be about there's disaster task force, disaster preparedness task force, and some of their efforts to help our community keep, prepared, and also about getting volunteers. So be sure and stay with us for that one. Also, we have Life Hacks with Lisa. She's going to be talking about social distancing. Of course, social distancing is so important still about wearing your mask, 6 feet at least, sometimes 10 feet if you can, and social distancing is very important at this time. So we'll be seeing that segment a little bit later in our program. But let's tell you about the meetings that we're going to have today. That's going to be the third landscape committee. That's going to be at 9:30 this morning. If you are watching our morning program, that is done virtually, and that's going to be at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. And so if you're in Third Mutual and you're interested in the landscaping, be sure and tune into that at 9:30 this morning. Well, let's give you our reminders for COVID-19 still. OCHealthInfo.com is a terrific site to go get the numbers. Laguna Woods Village is still in that 50 mark, so you're doing a great job. Keep that social distancing going, wear that mask, and let's go ahead and get through this in hopefully the next few months or so. Also, you can go to cdc.gov, that's staying safe with COVID-19, and then covid19.ca.gov, that is the governor's reopening plans. And as you've heard probably on television and through the internet, there are some hair salons opening, some nail salons opening in a restricted manner, but slowly opening now. So we'll see what happens here in the next few weeks. Hopefully the numbers do not spike with the holiday coming up, but we'll have to see how things go in the next, I would say, 30 days. But let's go out and be sure and practice social distancing, wear that mask as well. Well, let's take a look at the weather. Oh, actually, I keep forgetting about that one. That's Laguna Woods Village Alerts. I shouldn't forget about that. That is the resources that you have here locally. Our wonderful marketing department puts together those that information and keeps our website up to date. So you can always go to lagunawoodsvillagealerts.com to get local information regarding COVID and the community's resources regarding it. Also, you can send them an email at info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. Well, let's take you outside. It's going to be another nice day today. If you're watching our morning program, a little bit of haze, but as you can see there, we have a nice day coming today, 82. It's going to warm up a little bit. And as you see, those overnight temperatures will go up quite a bit as well in the next couple of days. Should be a nice day today, though, especially this overcast will probably break about 11 or 12 o'clock, and then you're going to have some warm temperatures the rest of the day. 87 tomorrow, very hot this weekend, 96 degrees, and Sunday, 98 degrees, and then quite a cool off for Monday. So we're hoping that those temperatures do go down like that and cool off on Monday, which will be Labor Day. So we're looking at some pretty warm temperatures. Let's take a look at that sunrise, sunset. Look at that. Let's see if you know where that is. But this is our sunrise. That happened at 6:27 a.m. And then our sunset will be at 7:13 p.m. this evening. And that photo right there is from Mark Rabinowitz, and that is Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, Anchorage, Alaska. Some 40 years ago, Mark took that picture. And when we get a chance to talk with Mark once again, we'll be sure to find out, where was he when that picture was taken? He's quite high up there to get a wonderful picture of that Anchorage, Alaska city and the valley there. Beautiful picture, Mark. If you have a picture you'd like to share with us, be sure and send it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to include it on our program. And we appreciate your support of Village Television. Send us an email, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Well, right after this break, we're going to talk to Judith Troutman, and we're going to talk about the Disaster Preparedness Task Force and some of their efforts here in our community. Don't go anywhere.
For the sweaty faces and the hidden smiles, the foggy glasses and the sore ears, the determined looks and the muffled laughs. A simple piece of fabric makes a big statement. I care. Let's all do our part to slow the spread. Wear a mask. Learn more at covid19.ca.gov.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
We are a community of surgeons and optometrists dedicated to helping you live better by seeing better.
We offer advanced lens options to fit your lifestyle. We also offer the latest in laser technology for cataract surgery. We are Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment, contact us at 866-599-2740.
Welcome back. Well, joining us now is Judith Troutman. She is the secretary at the Golden Rain Foundation, and they just met on Tuesday. But today we really want to focus on the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. Thanks for joining us today, Judith.
My pleasure.
Now, this task force has kind of grown over the years. I remember back in the old days, it was actually called the Earthquake Disaster Task Force. And then when the flood, well, I don't think we can say flood. When we had that heavy rain that one year, I believe they started to think, wow, there's more than earthquakes that we really need to think about here.
Yes, that's true. I wasn't here then. I've only been here 10 years, but a lot of my friends were here then. And so I picked up some little tidbits from them that I wanted to share with you today.
Now, I like one of them you showed the other day at the GRF meeting too. That was a very interesting cartoon that you showed us.
Yes, that was, it looked like a three-headed egg, but it was actually an ostrich with their head in the sand.
Right. And that's what happens sometimes, right?
Yes, unfortunately, we get complacent, I think, and especially now we're concentrating on COVID. But if we were to have an earthquake doesn't, or natural disaster doesn't discriminate. Like, they're not going to wait until the COVID goes away. It may hit tomorrow. We don't know, right? And we might have two disasters on top of each other. So we have to be prepared all the time.
Right.
But, so I want to go over a brief history of the task force, because I think a lot of people aren't aware. I have some background information here that the task force was really organized in Laguna Woods Village back in 1989 and consists almost entirely of volunteers who function under the Golden Rain Foundation and in cooperation with our security department. And their purpose is to keep our residents aware, informed, and prepared for major disasters. Prior to 2016, the task force published and maintained a series of articles on disaster preparedness, which were offered to the residents, free disaster-related training and emergency supplies that you still could get today. And I have quite a few samples that I could show you only if we have time today. But our new disaster preparedness office has now moved again to the old Globe office. If you came into the back door of the community center, it would be the first door to your left. So if you knew where the old Globe office was, that's now our new disaster preparedness office. You can pick up your supplies and any kind of forms that you need there. And their hours have been changed and adjusted now with the COVID. So, but you can go online to our website and get the most current hours when they're open. So between the years of 1989 and 2016, the task force was maintained almost entirely by a group of residents throughout those years. And then in 2016, when Chief Moy came, he noticed that this emergency operating plan, it was a great plan, but it was missing something. It didn't quite have the requirements for FEMA. And we were not synchronized with the city, and we weren't a city at the time. We were in 2016, however. And so we hired a group called Lopez and Associates, who specialize in EOPs for disasters. And so they brought us up to date, and now we have online a fully synchronized FEMA-approved EOP, Emergency Operating Plan. And we have partnered with the City of Laguna Woods, the Fire Department, FEMA, Orange County Health, El Toro Water District, Southern California Edison, to name a few. So because now that our EOP is so sophisticated, we are qualified for help from FEMA after a disaster. And that's
Well, that was really helpful to put that all together.
Yes, so we're really appreciative to Chief Moore for coming in and calling that to our attention and getting us to this point.
Now, you also have a budget now. As you mentioned before, you kind of depended on selling supplies and volunteer help, but you actually have a bit of a budget now that is very helpful to the task force.
And yes, our budget is actually $17,000 a year, but that comes off the security budget. We just completed the GRF budget for 2021, and we did not add anything to the security budget for additional disaster preparedness supplies. And the problem is we've been a little complacent, like I said, and we have not changed out or updated our supplies. And if you go into our cupboards, every clubhouse has a disaster supply cabinet that's full of first aid supplies and operating equipment and batteries that are outdated. Some batteries have gone to acid. So we really have a huge expense coming, and we're going to have to pad this budget for 2022. So next May, if I'm not on the board, I'm going to have to follow through with this and make sure that the team is aware they need to add something to the security budget for the disaster preparedness supplies, because that's really important. Around $5,600 is what we keep in emergency items that we sell to the residents, but we sell them at cost. So we get that money back, but we also have to keep a level of supply. Mm-hmm. So $5,000 worth of revenue is always sitting on the shelves pretty much. And then you have your office supplies, which is only like $500, and the training supplies, another $500. But the next big item is printing and advertising and all the flyers and the training materials. Those run in to $2,000 and $3,000. Wow. Just for those. So we also pay vendors to do the CPR classes and the first aid classes. Wow. Our volunteers facilitate those, but the classes are actually taught by paid vendors. So we have that expense as well. So that makes up the $17,000, and we hope to get a little bit added to that next year.
As you mentioned, this is a volunteer support group. So are you recruiting for new volunteers, and how does that process work?
Well, normally we do our recruiting we hand out flyers at clubs and in the clubhouses, which are now closed. So we haven't been able to do the flyer route. And normally the office manager will go to clubs and he'll bring a bunch of supplies and sell supplies and recruit people that way. And we can't do that. So right now, the only recruiting we're really able to do is either on a segment like this, or throw a little plug in at one of the board meetings for, 1 or 2 minutes, or in the Breeze. I knew Breeze, that really nice magazine. Every so often we'll place an ad in there. So I'm working with our new director, Joan Milliman, now to add some more, advertising to recruit and train. We have a saying for years with the disaster task force is, together we maintain a culture of preparedness. And that's been around for a long time. And every one of those words means something. Together means team. We work together as a team. To maintain means we're constantly working, constantly training, and culture is, of course, the community. So, and preparedness speaks for itself. And so together as a team, we're constantly training and working to maintain that awareness in the community and be prepared, because we don't want to be the ostrich with the head in the sand.
That's for sure.
So anyway, at the last meeting was on the 28th of July. In case I'm running out of time, the next meeting is the 29th of September. We always meet on odd months, the last Tuesday, not the fourth Tuesday, but the last Tuesday of odd months at 9:30. And they've been virtual meetings right now. Normally it would be in the boardroom, but right now they've been virtual meetings. And the chair is Chief Rojes, and we have several subcommittees that have been around since the beginning of time. So one of our most important subcommittees is radio communications. We obviously could not have an exercise or any disaster without radio communications, and those people are comprised of our club, radio club, that works out of Clubhouse 1. Then we have, of course, Tom Soul, our office manager that I mentioned, and he maintains all the inventory. And then we have training and education. For years it's been Joan Brown and now Kathleen Matthews. And then we have the VMS security division. And then we have something that's been new for just 4.5 years is our energy subcommittee. Chief started that 4 years ago, so we could find alternate ways to keep the community center energized during a disaster, because right now all we have is 2 generators that run on diesel, and they're only good for 12 hours at a time. If the grid were to go down for more than 12 hours, we would like to find an alternate energy source for that building.
Right.
So they can operate.
Right.
So that's why we added that 4 years ago. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to get any money to do that as well. So we're hoping next year's budget will allow for that. And with new people coming in and the demographics of the boards changing, we might have more people interested in energy coming on the boards.
Right. And that's been a slow process. Steve Leonard kind of pushed that, and Bert Maldau at some point, quite a couple of years ago. And like you said, new technology is always difficult to adopt and at times very expensive. So like you said, as the demographics and the new board members come on board, I think new ideas and new policies may come in place, and this might be one of them. You know, before I let you go, I know that the Disaster Task Force also is trying to fight this COVID-19 at this point, and you had a slide you wanted to share with everyone.
Yes, there is, well, those 2 things. You go on a site, it's called Earthquake County Alliance. They'll advertise this there as well. And that's one way the residents could volunteer and help during the COVID. And it also tells you how to prepare for the upcoming October 15th California shakeout. And it has a good video. If you're in a wheelchair, how do you duck and cover in a wheelchair? And just real quick, an example is you put on your wheels and you try to get to a corner, and then you could put a pillow over your head and duck that way, or put a TV tray over your head, or a little piece of cardboard or something you have handy. And then the other thing is, if you call LabCorp or go on labcorp.com to help with the COVID situation right now, they are taking plasma from people who have the antibodies, and they are making serum and using that to protect and help cure people who have COVID. And so if you call LabCorp, you can be tested. If you have the antibodies, then they will let you know within a matter of days if you're qualified. And that is a fantastic way to volunteer during this disaster right now. So that's labcorp.com to get information on how to volunteer that way. And ECA is the easiest way to remember it. And go there and find out how to protect yourself and exercise on October 15th, California shakeout.
Right, that's for sure. And that's something that's become more aware to the public as the years go on and the press goes and advertises these kind of events, but it's always the same day of every year. And we'll be sure to promote that here on Village Television and get it out on the message board as well. You actually had a webinar too you wanted to briefly mention that you have an interest in.
Yes, if you go to the CAA website, they have 3 more webinars coming up. And you go to that website and they'll tell you how to sign up. You have to sign up in advance. And the last 3 filled up really quickly. And so if you want more information on how to protect yourself or help your community, go to ECA website and sign up for those webinars. And they're free. You don't have to pay. Right. And I just want to say the California Shakeout is always on the 3rd Thursday of October. So if the 3rd Thursday is on the 15th, that's why the time that you duck and cover is 10 for October and 10:15 for the 15th of the month. So sometimes it's on the 14th, sometimes it's on the 17th. So it depends on what day it is. That will correspond to the minutes after the hour that you duck and cover.
Right.
Makes
Well,
sense?
we'll be sure to promote that here on Village Television, and I'm sure you'll mention it at the next Gold Rain Foundation meeting once again. Well, we know you've been a very, very busy person. We've seen you at plenty of virtual meetings and on Village Television, so we want to thank you for your time, and we wish you good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you very much, Paul.
We'll be back with more Village Television right after this.
Hi, I'm April, owner of Glitterbug Gold Buyers, your gold buying specialist. We educate, guide, and protect you when selling your gold. How do you know if you're getting the highest payout? At Glitterbug, we provide education so you know you're getting the best deal. We make sure that our customers have an excellent experience, and that's why Glitterbug has a perfect 5-star reputation online. Give us a call to find out about our mobile service, or just stop by our office. No appointment necessary. We look forward to meeting you.
Summer is here. Diane's Hallmark has everything you need to make summer cool. From clothing to jewelry to unique one-of-a-kind gifts, Diane's Hallmark is the place to go. Diane's also has a large religious section as well. Come in today to see it all. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Walmart Shopping Center.
Well, of course, we social distance on a regular basis now, and I just wanted to go through why it is important for us to social distance. Because it really is important, primarily because if you infect one person, then that person can go on to infect a whole lot more. So in looking at the first slide, why is social and physical distancing important? So it is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading illness. Staying at least 6 feet away from other people lessens your chances of catching coronavirus. Now, examples of social distancing are working at home instead of an office. They've closed the schools or switching to online classes, so you're almost kind of forced into that one now. Visiting loved ones by electronic devices instead of in person, which we are all really good at Zoom. Canceling or postponing conferences or large meetings, which everyone has been really good at doing so far. Now, again, why is it so important? Well, it slows down the spread of coronavirus and COVID-19, and it's also flattening the curve, as we have mentioned many times on our program. Now, it's important to follow the social distancing recommendations in your community, and especially if you are in a high-risk group. You definitely need to make sure. Now, what does flattening curve mean? Now, we've been trying to show you on a regular basis what the Orange County Health information has provided for us. Now, flattening the curve means that we are using our protective practices to slow the rate of coronavirus and COVID-19 infection so hospitals have room, supplies, and doctors for all of the patients who need care. So as we have been showing you, we've all been doing a fantastic job in our community with that. Now, in conclusion, the spread of coronavirus and COVID-19 was rapidly, a problem for all of us, and we've been doing what's necessary to make sure we are all protecting ourselves and others. So social distancing and all of the other things may seem like an inconvenience, but in the long run, it's going to be great for everyone. So make sure that you follow all of the rules and regulations that are set forth by our governor. And I know it's been kind of a hassle, but just bear with us, and pretty soon we'll be looking at that curve and it will be almost as flat as it can be.
Jewelry box. It's about trust.
Do you buy gold?
Yes, we do.
Do you buy diamond rings?
We do.
Do you buy watches?
We do.
Do you buy silver?
We do.
Do you buy these?
Yes, we do.
Gold, diamonds, jewelry, or sterling silver. The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest makes it easy to get top dollar for your treasures. No appointment necessary. Simply come in and walk out with money for your valuables.
Whether it's one ring or an entire estate,
We buy it all.
Did you know that the City of Laguna Woods has a senior mobility program? They do have a couple of requirements. You must be at least 60 years of age. You can complete an application and sign the liability waiver. A photo ID card will be issued from 2020 to 2021. It's only $10 enrollment fee due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But what's available to you are those general traffic travel vouchers for taxi bucks, non-emergency medical transportation, and also get you to the Irvine station. I imagine that's the railroad station and transportation center. Possibly it's the bus service with OCTA. So if you have any questions, give Resident Services a call at 597-4600. And then also you can email them at residentservices@vmsinc.org. And this is a City of Laguna Woods senior mobility program. We also want to share with you very quickly that we're going to be showing a couple of movies that we had some issues with in the last couple of weeks, actually. We've had a couple of calls and emails regarding that where the movie was cut off abruptly, and we do apologize for that. That is a matter of timing and file management, so we hope that we've cured that, but we are going to be bringing you Jack Lemmon and Anne Bancroft once again, The Prisoner of 2nd Avenue. That's going to be this evening at 7 o'clock, and then we're also going to bring it to you on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. So be sure and tune in for that. If you unfortunately missed the end of it, we apologize for that. We believe we've cured all those ailments, and those movies, actually we have quite a few movies in the next couple of days, and all the movies have been timed out, and the video server tells us everything should be okay. So big weekend. On Tuesday, I hope not to have a bunch of emails regarding some of the movies. So, but do let us know if we have issues. We'd be glad to take care of those things for you. Well, speaking of taking care of things, let's go outside. It's going to be a beautiful day today. 82 degrees, 64 was overnight, and then we're looking at temperatures to rise dramatically in the next couple of days. A lot of people are going to be out for the Labor Day weekend, so it's going to be hot. So those beaches and coastal areas are going to be busy. So get out there and enjoy your day early in the morning. And heck, I just stay here in Laguna Woods Village. There's too many beautiful things to see and do here in our community that we let the crowds have the holiday weekends all they want, and then we can enjoy your time here in community and enjoy, also the buses, not the buses, the pools and paddle tennis, and the tennis courts also are taking reservations, so you can get those done as well over the weekend. Well, I'm Paul Ortiz. We do appreciate your time here with us for the last 28 and a half minutes or so, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day right here in Laguna Woods Village.
At Harvard Eye, we're so happy to be open again to see you for all of your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in the lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence and committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you again.